Duelist Alliance was released on August 15th, 2014, and this set changed everything. Not only did Duelist Alliance introduce a new summoning mechanic in pendulum summoning, it also brought forth 3 tier 1 archetypes at release, a tier 2 archetype in Yang Xing, a fun casual deck in Ultra Athletes, as well as several generic support cards including Felis, Lightsworn Archer, Time Space Trap Hole, the Monarch Stormforth, Artifact Lancia, and Castel, the Sky Blaster Musketeer. In this series, both MBT and myself will be traversing the sands of Yu-Gi-Oh's history. Each episode will take a deep dive into Yu-Gi-Oh's past formats and unlock new strategies as new sets become available. Strap yourselves in because anything is possible. Welcome to the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! Fitness starts with food, and Factor makes it possible for you to achieve your daily goals through nutritious, purposeful eating. Factor cuts out stressful meal planning and extensive prepping so meals come together in minutes, taking the guesswork out of what to make for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Factor meals arrive pre-prepared and ready to eat in 2 minutes or less, even faster than ordering in, so you always have something nutritious on hand. Meal plans offer variety with a rotating weekly menu and add-ons like smoothies, keto shakes, desserts, and more. Factor even offers meals for those looking to follow specific diets. I personally avoid gluten and dairy, and Factor offers a surprisingly wide variety of meals that meet my dietary restrictions. With meal preference options like keto, calorie smart, vegan, and vegetarian, over 27 meal options each week means that there's something for everyone. Use my link or go to go.factor75.com and use code POGSEMA130 to get $130 off across 6 boxes.
I never thought we'd actually get here, but this is Duelist Alliance. And no explanation I give is going to be able to do this set, or this metagame, or this period in Yu-Gi-Oh's history justice, but I'll try my best. So if you're unfamiliar, Duelist Alliance is the set in Yu-Gi-Oh! More than any set before or after, it changed our conceptions of how we metagame, how we deck build, and how we play Yu-Gi-Oh! It's at this period that Yu-Gi-Oh! Starts to resemble the game that we play today, instead of, to some degree, a hackneyed Magic ripoff that frequently ends up being unbalanced. Duelist Alliance introduced a number of extremely powerful decks into the fledgling metagame, and they absolutely dominated it. Over the next couple of weeks, we're going to be looking at the archetypes released in this set, but keep in mind, the next couple of sets will be just as pivotal. For now, let's talk about Satellar Knight. So early in the Duelist Alliance metagame, Satellar Knight was the deck to beat. There's a couple of reasons for this. Firstly, it resembles decks that existed previously. It's kind of, if you squint, Fire Fist. It's sort of Hat. It makes rank 4s every turn. Altair is an analog to Wolfbark. For that reason, duelists were comfortable with it. Far more comfortable than they would be with something like Burning Abyss. Secondly, it's not a difficult deck to build. It's clear which Satellar Knights are good, play 3 of all those, which of them are pivotal to extension, play 2 of those, and which traps are good in the upcoming format, 3 apiece. As a result, the deck was solved faster than pretty much any of the other builds. Shaddoll, for instance, will go through several different iterations as duelists flail trying to find out what exactly they should be playing. We haven't talked much about the ARG Circuit series, but Duelist Alliance seems like a pretty good time to start. The ARG Circuit series, prior to this, was a little bit of a sideshow. Yes, you could go to one in lieu of a YCS, but at the end of the day, it was an unofficial tournament, and though it did have cash prizing, that usually wasn't enough for it to become a household name. However, that started to change when pros took notice. Professional duelists started to flock to the ARG Circuit series. Suddenly, you could get something for winning games that wasn't a PlayStation 3, and as a result, some of the best Yu-Gi-Oh! Played during this period was played at these unofficial, non-Konami events. From a little before Duelist Alliance until about the end of Necroz's format, ARG events honestly rivaled Konami's in terms of attendance and notoriety, and it's unfortunate that we haven't seen anything nearly as expansive since. For now, let's focus on one of the lists from that event. Again, this is Aaron Furman's first place Satellar Knight list, and it's making a lot of choices I really agree with. During this period in Yu-Gi-Oh's history, duelists were not willing to play 3 Soul Charge. For some reason I cannot fathom. I think Farfa said it best when he was kicking himself looking at an old list playing 2 Soul Charge because he wanted to draw it sometimes, but not all of the time. That's a mentality that was extremely pervasive, even at the pro level, but thankfully it started to be dispelled during this format, and it's not hard to see why. This is one of the most powerful cards in Yu-Gi-Oh's history, and being able to summon back a board full of 4s to make powerful Xyz plays suddenly gets a lot better when your Xyz can trade for your opponent's monsters without using your battle phase. Let's go into the card by card. First, we have Altair. As said, this is an analog to Coach Soldier Wolfbark. This can summon a Satellar Knight monster from your graveyard in defense position. Also, it locks you into attacking with Tellar Knight monsters. Now, notably, you can summon back Deneb, whose effect is not negated. This card, on summon, allows you to add a Tellar Knight from your deck to your hand. These two made a really powerful loop. You could go Altair into Deneb, into search Altair, into summon Altair next turn, into Deneb, etc., etc. A Knuckle-Eye is fine. He's got a decent attack stat in 1800, and on normal summon can send a Satellar Knight from your deck to the graveyard. This is good at setting up a Deneb in a hand that does not necessarily have one. Finally, we've got 2 copies of Vega. This card's great to search if you already have something like an Altair in your hand already. It allows you to special summon a Satellar Knight from your hand, which allows you to go for more powerful plays. If you have 3 mats, you can go for a Delteros. If you have 4, you can go for, well, 2 4s. After that, we've got 2 Mystical Space Typhoon, 3 Pot of Duality, 2 Reinforcement of the Army, and triple Soul Charge. Wow, wow, wow. This card is unbelievable. Target any number of monsters in your graveyard, special them, and if you do, you lose 1,000 for each monster specialed by this effect. You can't conduct your battle phase the turn you activate this card. Fun fact, their effects aren't negated. So frequently, you could go bring back an Altair and a Deneb, use the Altair to summon another Deneb, summon a Vega, search a Vega, summon the Vega, summon the Knuckle-Eye, and get like 6 material off of a 3 Soul Charge. We got 1 Battle Guard Howling. I do not like this card, but it was played pretty frequently during this time in this deck specifically. Triple Breakthrough Skill, triple Call of the Haunted, 1 Compulse, double Depriz, Solemn Warning, triple Satellar Nova Alpha. Whoa, this card is fantastic. It's an Omni. It sends a face-up Tellar Knight monster you control to the graveyard to negate the activation. If you do destroy the card, then draw a card. If you've spent your first turn normal summoning Deneb, this is the best card in the world. It allows you to take a card you've already plussed off of and send it to the graveyard to negate one of your opponent's cards and draw a card going net 0 for advantage after you've already plussed. It's unbelievable. We've got 1 copy of Torrential Tribute, 3 Vanity's Emptiness. So happy to see this. There are so many lists during this period that were just like, well, what if I don't want vanities? And 2 Wiretap, another fantastic inclusion. You can see that many decks during this format were playing like 20 trap cards. In the side, we've got 2 Max C, a Thunder King Ryo, a Dim Fizz, a Chain Disappearance, a Full House, Double Needle Ceiling, triple Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. One guess as to what that's for. Soul Drain, 3 Stygian Dirge, a very funny anti-BA tech. I guess theoretically, you could also use it against the Tellar Knight, but I don't know, did people really do that? In the extra, we've got Abyss Dweller, Double Castel, Constellar Omega, really good if you're playing only lights, Daigusto Emerald, Diamond Direwolf, Evil Swarm Exciton Knight, Gagaga Cowboy, Honor Arc, Giant Hand. Quick note about Giant Hand, at this time it was a prize card. You could only get it by winning a high-profile Yu-Gi-Oh tournament, and it retailed for about $2,000. Like Crush card before it, this powerful prize card was shuffled around as a one-of between teams. We've got 2 Rhapsody and Berserk, 1 Starliege Paladynamo, fantastic card available almost exclusively to Satellar Knight, and Satellar Knight Delteros. Gage can tell you how good this card is. So with that, welcome to Duelist Alliance.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joseph and I have been waiting to say this for probably what feels like 100 episodes. Welcome to Duelist Alliance format. If there is a format that changed everything, it is this one, because the introduction of Duelist Alliance is one of the most iconic, momentous occasions in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! I still believe to this day that there is no core set in the history of game that will ever stand up to what this set did. This set introduced 3 tier 1 archetypes and 2 tier 2 archetypes and a bunch of other supplemental cards that were just generically powerful. We're never going to see anything like that ever again, and it's sort of sad, right? Just because of how impactful the set was. I really wish that happened again. But in any case, we're going to be piloting one of the big dogs from that set, and that is Shaddoll. Now, Shaddoll is a graveyard-focused archetype that a lot of you more modern players might be quite familiar with, but it was actually released almost, 8 years ago at the time of recording this, and so as a result of that, we get to see the origins of this deck. A lot of you may think of Shaddoll in the ways you see it in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! It looked nothing like that in the beginning. There was actually multiple variants of Shaddoll very early on. There's this build that you see here that has more of a chaos emphasis. There is Artifact Shaddoll, which also takes advantage of the artifacts, but I decided to shelve that one for now because I figured you guys have seen enough artifacts in the hat videos. There was also Lightsworn Shaddoll as well that started to pick up in popularity to sort of turbo through the Shaddolls and again through the Chaos monsters subsequently. So this is going to be the first iteration of Shaddoll we are going to discuss in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! And let's go ahead and do the card by card. So I figure we'll start with the Shaddolls themselves because these are the newest cards of the bunch. All of the Shaddolls, when they are sent to the graveyard but via a card effect, have an ability that triggers, and they also have an ability that triggers when it is flipped face up. Now, they're only allowed to use either effect once per turn. You can't trigger both. That would be way too broken, but let's do the rundown. So first up is Shaddoll Beast. You can flip it up, you can draw 2 cards, then discard 1 card. This is nice because this will trigger Shaddoll effects, which means you can actually probably plus off of this. And then if it's sent to the graveyard, you can draw 1 card. Dragon has a flip effect that allows you to compulse a monster back to hand that your opponent controls, and when it's sent to the grave, will pop a spell or trap on the field. Falco, when it's flipped, special summons a Shaddoll from the graveyard, except another copy of itself, in face down defense position, meaning it can readily use its flip effect on the next turn, and its graveyard effect allows it to special summon itself into face down defense position. Shaddoll Hedgehog, probably one of the most important ones, because when it's flipped, you can add a Shaddoll spell or trap from deck to hand, but when it's sent to the graveyard, you can add a Shaddoll monster from deck to hand. And finally, Shaddoll Squamata, when it's flipped, you can pop a monster on the field, which is basically Maneater Bug with 1800 attack, and when it's sent to the graveyard, you can send another Shaddoll card from your deck to the graveyard. This allows you to tutor for any of the other Shaddoll cards that you have, which is quite relevant later on. And then we have what is arguably the best card in the entire deck, Shaddoll Fusion. One of the biggest issues when it comes to fusion summoning is that you have to commit so many resources into a monster just to lose to a single removal spell. Well, Shaddoll Fusion sort of fixes this with specific conditions. You're allowed to fusion summon a Shaddoll monster from your extra deck using monsters from either your hand or field as material, but if your opponent controls a monster that was specialed from the extra deck, you can also use monsters from your deck. And that's insane because not only does that mean that this means that the fusion monster is free and actually pluses you, but it also means that you're able to specifically pick which monsters you send to the graveyard for fusion material to trigger any array of effects that you see fit. This card is incredibly powerful, and hopefully we could show off just how powerful it is in this matchup, because going up against the Teller Knight, that deck makes a ton of rank 4s. There's also Sinister Shadow Games. This is a trap that says send a Shaddoll card from your deck to the grave, so it's basically Squamata in a trap, but you can also then flip any face down defense position Shaddoll monsters face up, triggering their flip effects and then allowing you to sort of interrupt your opponent depending on what they're doing. For instance, if you have like Shaddoll Dragon or Squamata set, you can use Shadow Games to preemptively flip them to interrupt your opponent's plays by bouncing their monster or destroying it respectively. That's it for the main monsters for the Shaddoll lineup. We can talk about the rest of the other cards now. We have the Chaos Dragons, White Dragon Wyvern Burster and Black Dragon Collapse Serpent. This sort of forms a mini Chaos engine which supplements our Blackluster Soldier Envoy at the beginning. What's nice is that a lot of the big monsters in our deck are level 4, like the Squamata and the Dragon, so being able to have access to Wyvern Burster and Collapse Serpent means we're able to very easily access the rank 4 pool in our extra deck, possibly even some synchro plays because Falco is in fact a tuner. We have BLS and Dad as our bombs. We have 1 Eclipse Wyvern to search the Dark Arm Dragon. We have 1 copy of Felice. Felice is neat because it's a light, which is relevant for the Chaos typing, of course, but also it's a thing that we can mill that actually can pop a monster on the field. And there's not many things that can do that, so that's kind of cool. Mathematician is one of the most amazing cards printed out of Dragons of Legend. This on normal summon allows you to send a level 4 monster from your deck to the grave, which means you can tutor any effect of your Shaddolls if you so wish. You can dump Wyvern if you want to get to Dark Arm Dragon. This card is just insane because not only that, but if it's killed in battle, you get to draw a card. So it replaces itself, pluses you. This card just does it all. I think the worst part about this card is probably the fact that it's an Earth, but that actually becomes relevant later on once Shaddoll receives some new support. That does it for the monsters, though. For the spells, we have Allure because our deck is almost entirely dark. Foolish Burial is basically any card in our deck. We already mentioned the 3 Shaddoll Fusion. This deck can play Super Polymerization as well, which is absurd, and as broken as we know as it is today, it was still just as bad back in the day. And then although later on Shaddoll would evolve to be a much heavier combo deck with the intent of just OTKing as fast as possible, it was actually a bit more mid-rangey and control-y, playing cards like Bottomless, Breakthrough Skill, Compulse, the Sinister Shadow Game, Solemn Warning, and of course Vanity's Emptiness, because people hadn't figured out just how far they could push the deck to its limits at this point in time. This is like month 1 of Duelist Alliance. So now we get to the extra deck and what we are fusing with Shaddoll Fusion, first of which is El Shaddoll Construct. This card is absurd. It requires a Shaddoll monster and a light monster, so Eclipse Wyvern or Felice can fulfill the condition here, and on special summon, you can send a Shaddoll card from your deck to the grave, triggering any of your other Shadolls that you haven't already used that turn, and at the start of the damage step, if it battles a special summon monster, destroy that monster, and not only that, but this, as well as every other Shaddoll Fusion, when it is sent to the graveyard, you can target a Shaddoll spell or trap in grave, add it to your hand, meaning you get the Shaddoll Fusion back to your hand for the following turn, and you can just do it all over again. We also have El Shaddoll Window, which a lot of you might also be familiar with as well. Window requires a dark monster versus a light monster like Construct needs, and it cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effects, and each player can only special summon once per turn. A very oppressive effect, especially when we're talking about like Vanity's Emptiness and how powerful that is, to have on a 2200 body as well. And just like Construct and get Shaddoll Fusion back if it is sent to the graveyard. We also have some Synchros. Arcanite Magician can be made because the Shaddolls are spellcasters, so that's quite good. Armades was a decent card around this time as well. It's also a light. Black Rose can be made quite easily because Falco can get Beast, and that's 7 right there. Goyo Guardian has not been errated yet, so it is still as easy to make as ever. And again, Falco plus any 4 makes it. And then Leo, Keeper of the Sacred Tree, is just a very annoying card because he's just massive and basically untargetable except for in main phase 2. And then we have the Xyz monsters. Castel is another generic card out of Duelist Alliance, requires any 2 level 4s, and you can detach 2 materials to target a face-up card on the field, shuffle it into the deck. It even has another effect. You can detach 1 material, target a face-up monster on the field, and Book of Moon it face down. This was an incredible generic piece of support at Super Rare, and again, there will never be another set like Duelist Alliance, I swear. Daigoso Emerald's good for recycling, Exciton's good for board wiping, Lavalval Chain's good for setting up, and 101, I mean, we're basically playing the best rank 4s in the entire game because our deck can facilitate it, and I am just so excited that we are finally here. This is just tons of nostalgia for both Joseph and myself, and it's going to be an absolute blast to play in this episode. So ladies and gentlemen, I've talked your ears off enough. I know you're waiting for the action, so let's not make you wait any longer. It's time to duel. Joseph, we finally made it after what seems to be over 100 episodes. Welcome to Duelist Alliance format. God, I am so hyped for this, and I know you are too.
Yeah, this is the set that changed everything in Yu-Gi-Oh! And hopefully
Literally.
It will change my 0% hat win rate. I need to wash this thing.
As long as Vanity's Emptiness is still in the format. Probably not, because that is just the one card that seems to plague Yu-Gi-Oh! For I don't know how much longer. Like, it's going to probably be a year until this card gets banned, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I can't believe it, but yes, it's legal a lot longer than it needs to be.
Yeah, 2 brand new decks, and this isn't just the only new decks. I think next episode we're also playing new decks, and I think what's neat is that this is like the experimentation phase, right? No one knew like how these decks were going to look by the end of the format, so they look a little bit wonky. Maybe your deck is probably the closest to being what it actually ended up being in the end, just because it's Satellar Knight. I mean, there's not really much deviation aside from when Trevere comes out a little bit later, but both Shaddoll and Burning Abyss undergo some significant evolutions in their lifespan, and I'm excited to get into it if you are, buddy.
I am too. I guess let's do it.
Let's do it. Shout the patron. Eluda, thank you for the support. Buddy, do you have the hand up?
I do.
I went even.
It's even, yeah.
Is there any particular reason playing Satellar Knight why you might have gone even, buddy?
No
curious. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I figured as much. All right. It could be the number of stars on all your monsters. Could be how many monsters have to go into overlay for an Xyz. Could be a myriad of reasons.
I could not.
Oh, you're
lose
screwed.
if I was going first.
And I probably could say the same thing. Best of luck, buddy. I'm going to have a very boring turn 1 here, actually. I'm going to go set 1, 2, 3. This is not the explosive Shaddoll start you may expect from this deck.
All right, let's go duality that I ripped off the top.
Okay, that seems pretty good to me.
There's a guy. There's my lad. God, I really want vanities, but no, I do need the lad.
I was going to say, that's a tough call. Do you get the card that wins you the game, or do you get the card that starts your engine?
Deneb effect.
Deneb is perfectly fine.
Wow, that's nice. I'm going to grab Vega here.
Setting up for next turn.
What is the set card? It's Hedgehog, Squamon. I mean, whatever
literally
it is,
anything.
we'll try it.
You are correct. It is, in fact, Hedgehog.
Why don't you get a Shaddoll spell trap, asshole? Go find El Shaddoll. Why don't you search El Shaddoll, you little baby?
Any Shaddoll spell trap I wish, of which there's actually only... Technically, I think there's 2 that are legal, but there's only 1 that is actually good, and it is Shaddoll Fusion,
yeah, that's what
so
I
will grab it.
All right, well, I'm not going to give you the easiest time. We are instead going to we're going to light them up, baby. Back to you.
Build that wall. All right, thinking on end phase here.
You just want to get fishing?
I want to do. I'm thinking about it. This does not help knowing that Vanity's Emptiness is in the format. I'll just draw. We'll try it. Let's see the Vanities.
One day, I am going to snap. It's alpha.
Okay, sure. So you're going to sack off your Deneb. You get to draw a card. Alpha's such a cool counter trap.
He's sick. It's so sick.
What's even more sick about it is that it negates activations, and Shaddoll Fusion says you can only activate it once per turn. So I'm gonna use another
God,
copy.
I'm really gonna get to negate every Shaddoll Fusion you have, aren't I?
God, shit.
Yeah, keep going, asshole.
I'm just not gonna get to play Yu-Gi-Oh, am I? You're really holding out on that Vanity's Emptiness, aren't you, buddy?
Well, you can't MST a solemn warning.
That is correct. That is correct. That was fun. I think that's the end of my turn. Go ahead.
All right, we're gonna end step activate Call of the Haunted, targeting Deneb here.
Oh, I need to think about how this is gonna work.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Now you fire the MST.
It's not gonna work the way I want it to. I do have the vanities.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, I'm completely okay with that.
I bet you are. I bet you are.
I'll draw for turn. Well, it is what it is.
Oh my God! I guess you're just better. Yep.
You know, sometimes I'll take a Knuckle Eye. I'll go to combat. We'll hit for 15.
Not much I can do about that. Yeah, 15's fine.
Second main, I'm going to set one. Back to you.
Well, maybe my draw will change things. Let's see. Wow, that's actually garbage. All right, buddy. I'm going fishing. Activate Shadow Games.
We'll wiretap here.
Wiretap. That's very funny, because actually vanities will stay on the field, because this goes back to my deck.
If you think that I am in a rush to get the vanities off the field, you are sorely mistaken.
That's true. Okay. Probably should have done that on end phase then, but it is what it is. I'll pass.
Stand by me. Knuckle Eye.
Sure.
We'll send to Vega. Combat. Let's go 15, 18.
Take 33.
Back to you, Buckaroo.
We'll draw.
That was a fun one. That was a nice match.
That went well. That went well.
I do want to, for the viewers at home, that was the first game one I've won in 5 weeks.
Double Beast, Dark Arm Dragon, Black Dragon Collapse Serpent was the hand, and drew into the third Shaddoll Fusion.
That's pretty good, actually. That sounds like an optimal. You listen to this. Listen to this. This is what playing against Alex is like. Man draws 3 Shaddoll Fusion and complains. You should be thanking your lucky stars.
I should be, but here we are. Unfortunately, I still lost the game because I'm just apparently not that good. All right, let's hope
this hand is very beatable.
I hope so. This hand doesn't look as intimidating as before. All right, so main one, I'm gonna go set 1, 2, 3 and kick it back to you. My exact same opening from last time.
Well, I mean, that might work. Let's go, Rhoda.
Okay, Rhoda's fine.
Grab my good old pal, Satellar Knight, Deneb.
You've opened Deneb both games, so that's if you do that with Satellar Knight, this deck is like unbeatable.
I mean, I'll tell you, the deck has like 9 ways to do this.
I mean, it's good enough. I have breakthrough skill for the Deneb this time.
Oh, fuck off. Liberal. All right, let's go to combat. Walk into your hedgehog.
I have Fire Hand for the Deneb this time.
Oh. Hold up, I'm Googling real quick. Are you allowed to play good cards in your deck?
Yes, sir, I am actually, in fact.
Doesn't seem right to me. All right, second main, let's go, Duality.
Sure.
What? Oh!
Altair's not bad. Nice little Shadow Mirror you got there, buddy.
I think that's what I'm taking.
Pretty good in the face of my ice hand.
Okay, let's go a 1, a 2, and back to you.
Draw. Stand by anything? All right, main phase 1. Well, I guess I know Shadow Mirror is in my future. That's fucking annoying. I'm going to put Ice Hand to attack.
Yep.
Normal Eclipse Wyvern.
Still with you.
14, 16.
3K here, I'll take.
Pass it back.
Stand by main. Altair, target Deneb.
This is probably bad, right? Now you have Shadow Mirror, you get Deneb, you get a search. I'll Vanities.
Vanities, I'll Alpha.
Sure.
Draw here. Oh, wow, that's a great one.
Get your Deneb.
We'll go Deneb effect.
It goes in defense.
Yeah. Let's grab Vega.
You have Vega, Shadow Mirror, and 4 other cards that I don't know.
I'll pass turn here.
2 more back row. Good lord. Main 1. I'm gonna normal summon Shaddoll Falco.
Yeah, that's annoying. Sure.
I'm gonna sync Wyvern and Falco for Goyo.
Oh, all right.
Has not had the errata yet. Trigger Eclipse Wyvern.
Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna banish Dad.
Ooh, okay.
Let's go battle. I'm gonna send Goyo in.
You want him?
I do want him. 14 on the hand.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Second main, I think I'm just chilling with your Deneb, so I'll pass it back.
Stand by main. Oh,
Yep.
Awful draw. Rhoda.
I forgot Rhoda's not limited yet.
No, it's not. Yeah, we'll grab a Knuckle Eye here.
Makes sense.
We're going to go Vega, Special, and Knuckle Eye. We're going to go Knuckle Eye, send Deneb. We'll overlay here.
Makes sense.
Go 101.
Oh, that's pretty good.
We'll take your Go. Ooh, wait. No,
There is an argument for
I'll
it.
take the Goyo.
Okay.
Go to combat and walk over the Deneb. Back to you.
Main 1. 101's a bit annoying here. Can blank Fire Hand. I'll go battle.
Yes.
Ice Hand in.
Well, that's a little bit of a penis move on your part, but sure.
Take 7. Trigger hand. Let's pop this one.
Fine.
We'll get Fire.
Yep.
Fire Hand in on attack deck breakthrough skill, the 101.
That's fine, yes.
So I'll take 5. Fire Hand pop 101.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay. We'll get another ice. Try to get for 14. Second main. I know you still have a Shadow Imp back there, so that's annoying. I'm gonna normal Lila.
Sure.
Try to declare. I'm gonna target for cost. I'm gonna target this one.
That's the Shadow Imp.
One of them anyway. So then she'll go to defense, and then I will proceed to end phase and mill 3. Trigger my Shaddolls. Hopefully you don't have the second Shadow Imp.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I have Squamata and Beast. So I'm going to go Beast 1, Squamata 2. I'm going to dump Falco with Squamata, draw 1, trigger Falco, resurrect itself.
Sure.
Throw it back.
Okay. Stand by main. I will normal Altair.
Yep. How much I can do about that?
I feel like I am running away with this game, but I've got so few life points that this is becoming a problem very quickly.
That's your last Altair, too.
Yeah. We'll go to combat here. I'm just going to attack into the Lila.
Sure.
And this is really poopy. Main phase 2, I'm going to overlay for...
Dweller.
Castell.
Ooh. What are you shuffling back? Hand?
We'll shuffle back the hand, yeah. All right. Back to you.
I remember, like, you didn't think Duelist Alliance was good enough. And then they also print Castell in the set, too. Right?
Yeah.
And it was a super. This card's crazy. Stand by anything. Main 1. I will flip Shaddoll Falco. I will activate Falco. I will target... Probably target Shaddoll Beast.
We'll go Vanities here.
That's fine. I will set 1, 2, and throw it back.
I'm going to MST the back row.
Sinister Shadow Games.
Cool. Draw. Stand by me.
All good.
Deneb effect.
You got it. And more Altairs.
Vega, I think.
Sure.
We will go to combat here. Let's hit the unknown with Castell.
It is Dragon.
Would you like to return my Altair to the hand?
I would not, honestly. I think Castell has to be the hit.
Okay. We'll go Altair in.
I'll take 11 from this. That's fine. Nothing I can do.
If I chill, you can't Shaddoll Fusion, which I think is the only way I lose this game. So we'll try that.
We'll draw. Shaddoll Fusion.
Alpha.
Well, we tried, folks. We tried. So I know you have Vega in hand. I think that's the only one I know, correct? Dragon has 1900 attack, so I'll try it.
I'll take 2.
I've got a back row. Go ahead.
Stand by me. Oh, that is really rough for me, actually. That's a lot of attack. Okay, I'm going to soul charge for 1.
Like, fuck, I have this.
Ooh, all right. Back to you.
Setting 1. I knew you had Vega, so you're probably setting Vega to not die here, I'd imagine. I'll draw. Vega's defense is like 1,000. It's actually kind of chunky. I will hit in with Dragon.
It's Vega.
Oh, who would have thought? All right, second main. I'm going to... I don't want to do anything, honestly, but I'll set 1 and pass.
Stand by me. Duality.
Those aren't bad.
Wow, none of these cards out the immediate problem. That is awful.
2 of them protect you from dying. Well, actually, no, 1 of them protects you from dying under vanities.
You wish they did. Back to you.
Compulse, and the other 2, I don't believe I know. All right, I'll draw. That's not a bad one. Normal Mathematician.
That's an insane one. Yeah. That's fine.
Okay. I'm just gonna dump Hedgehog, trigger Hedgehog.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll grab Squamata. He's not flipped, so he grabs a monster. So I know you have Compulse. You need... I can't kill you with the current board. If I flip up the monster I have set, you would need another way to not die. Vanities shuts off called... I don't know what other back row you play, honestly. I'll go for it. I'll flip Hedgehog.
Yeah. Emptiness and 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 emptiness.
So game determined.
This hand sucks ass!
Welcome to Satellar Night, buddy.
Alright, well, you know, it does do this, so.
Vega set 4. Okay, so you wouldn't have done that unless you had Alpha, I imagine.
Could
so
be
I'll draw. Stand by anything.
No.
Let's try for this. What else am I afraid of in your back row? I honestly don't think anything. Normal summon Lila.
That sucks. I actually have to solemn warning this.
Okay. I was like, it's like warning or bust. I think I'm going to be able to clear Vega here. Technically, I'm still in main 1. I'm passing. Go ahead.
Yeah, sure. Stand by main. Wow.
Yep. I'll take
We're
12.
getting there. We're getting there. Back to you.
Okay. I'll draw. Main 1. I know you have emptiness, so let's just fish it out.
No, I'm just going to alpha here.
Oh, that works too. Sure.
Please go to the grave now, dueling book. Thank you.
I will set 1 and throw back.
Stand by main. Normal Vega.
Sure.
Wow.
It is Hedgehog.
Wow. Alpha again.
Ooh. Okay.
Draw here.
Okay.
Main 2. Back to you.
Draw. Main 1. I will set 1, throw back.
Dude, this game is so fucking fun!
Isn't it?
All right. Stand by main. The time for clocks is over, Alex. Rhoda!
You found Deneb. Congratulations.
Deneb! I found Altair!
Oh, excuse me.
Dumb
To summon
fuck.
Vega to summon
I found
Deneb.
Deneb last turn! Oh my god. Okay.
Sure.
We're gonna overlay these two here. Let's go get my... I guess I'll get another Altair, right? Let's go Abyss Dweller here. Do it. We'll go Altair in.
Well, thankfully this is a flip effect, so we're gonna pop the Dweller.
Okay, well, I really needed that to work. Okay, back to you.
Okay. Draw. Normal Dragon.
That's fine, yes.
Hit Altair.
I'll take 2.
Second main, Shaddoll Fusion.
Okay.
Wow, we get to fusion summon? Are you serious? This only took 3 games? I can't believe this.
I know.
All right, I'm gonna send Falco and Beast.
Oh my god. Yeah, who we making?
Window. The only one we can make.
Sure.
Trigger Falco and
I'll save you
Beast.
some
The
time here,
order
buddy.
doesn't... That does save me a lot of time. Thank you very much. That's a ripperoni. Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna use my one special. We'll get a knuckle eye.
Sure.
Okay, stand by main. Oh, that's kind of funny. Window gets you a thing back, right?
You have Shadow Imp up, so it doesn't get me anything back.
Thank you for reading my cards. I'm gonna normal summon a knuckle eye. Let's send a knuckle eye. Can I do that? No, I literally can't. We'll send Deneb.
You can't do that, yeah. I think it's better to send Deneb anyway, honestly.
We're gonna go overlay here.
Aladynamo?
Nah, we'll just make 101.
Oh, that works too. That's a little bit better. Sure. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Sorry. I imagine my dragon's going to the graveyard here.
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
So I'm going to take, what, 2 from this? Yep. Sure.
Set 1, back to you.
YOLO!
Wow. Yeah, okay.
We'll get rid of... I really don't think this matters all that much. I'll get rid of these 2. Declare Banish 101.
Yeah.
Go ahead!
MST the back row.
It was Vanity.
Oh, you sneaky little snake.
I was like, oh my god. Like, this is like the god combo if this works.
I'll just make Paladynamo here. Let's go Soul Charge.
Yeah, sure.
Let's go Deneb, Altair.
As if I wasn't already dead.
Vega. Take 3 here.
Trigger your effects if you so wish.
I just can't believe that it lets you do that. We'll go Deneb.
Yep.
And we'll go...
You can Altair
we'll
too?
go Vega 1, Deneb 2, Altair 3.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
We'll go Deneb. Deneb will get Altair. We'll get a Knuckle Eye, sorry. And then Vega will summon the Knuckle Eye. I promise I have another target in hand. Let's...
You dumping with the Knuckle High?
I think I actually am not. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3 for Triver or Delteros.
I was gonna say Triver's not.
Oh,
out yet,
I
so hope it
wish.
wasn't Triver.
Oh, I wish. Crack the BLS here. And then, is there a good one to make in the dark? I think Rhapsody and Berserk is pretty good. Man, I wish there was one that would just prevent you from activating Shaddoll Fusion.
Wouldn't that be a good card?
It would be a nice one here.
If it makes you feel any better, I only have 1 Shaddoll Fusion in the deck, and I have 30
Dog,
cards in the
I've
deck.
played against you enough. It does me no comfort. I almost think I just want to go... Oh, I can't even make
You can't
Emerald
attack, remember.
because... Oh, I do. I have 3. Yeah, we'll go Emerald. Oh, also Emerald's out now. Did you know that?
Emerald's been out for a while, but...
No, he's crazy. We'll go Emerald here. We're going to do Vega, Abyss Dweller. Is decent draws here. Good luck.
I mean, 1 in 30, 1 in 30, Joseph. 1 in 30. What are the chances
100%.
that Shaddoll Fusion is the top card?
What is it like? What is it like being Alex Simo? Give me some insight into the mind of the master. What is it like, friend? I have nothing to respond to.
Just vanities me. You have no response to this?
No response to this.
Okay, well, you have Shadow Imp up, so, like, this isn't as good as it would be
it's
otherwise.
Still fine. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. That's unbelievable.
I actually am having a very easy time believing it. I'm going to tell you that right now.
I'm not on the receiving end of it, so I think I would too. Yeah. Anyway, all right, how am I going to actually come back in this game? I still have to deal with fucking 2 back row. Thankfully, one of them isn't vanity, so I mean, that makes me feel a little bit better. Then I still have maybe a chance, but I'm going to say it's probably 0. I'll dump Beast Felice. We'll make Construct.
Sure.
So we'll go Construct 1, Felice 2. Actually, do I even want to send off of Construct? Like, this kind of doesn't even seem worth it, considering you have Shadow Imp up. Yeah, I'll just Felice.
Sure.
I wish Felice just, like, popped any card. That would be
I bet
nice,
you do wish that. I bet you do.
Yeah. I can't have it all, Joseph. I can't have it all. If I had one more monster, I could maybe have a chance, because Construct's attack is your exact life total.
Indeed.
No, this just sucks. There's not really much I can do about it. I guess I can keep Felice on the field. I guess I have life points, but for all the good that's going to do me. I'll put Felice in attack. I can run over Emerald, potentially.
Yeah.
Then Construct into Deltaros.
We're going to compulse the Construct here.
Sure. So we're never getting through anyway. Second main, I guess I will just sack Felice to pop Deltaros.
Sure.
I have to mill 3.
Oh, Eclipse Wyvern.
Oh, I got Wyvern. I don't think it matters because I think BLS is the only thing that I can actually banish Wyvern for in this deck.
We'll go.
Get your Deltaros effect.
Go Deneb. This is so fucking unfair. This is so unfair. Oh my God.
And that's it. Go ahead.
All right. Surely there's a way to win the game.
Yeah.
We can go these 2 to attack. That's 32.
If you have another Altair and an overlay, you might be able to clear the threshold. Maybe Vega.
I'm not going to do math. I'm just going to shut my eyes and hope it's enough. Altair for... Let's get Deneb. Deneb for the 3rd Altair, which we do not have. I'm lying. For Vega. Of course, I was always getting Vega here.
44, 44, 46, 56, 60. You're 500 off, but there is a card that might be able to bridge the gap there.
Yeah, so let's go combat. This is everybody, right?
Do it, buddy.
Oh, man, I don't know. I mean, I just don't think... Yeah, I just don't think there's any card in my extra deck. Maybe some sort of rank 4 that I could jokingly make here and win the game.
Yeah.
Get me out of this fucking shirt! Gaga cowboy! Oh.
Good game, buddy.
Was it?
Good
was it?
Game.
I feel like I mean, I won, so it was great. But at the end of the day, that was a game decided by me drawing a bunch of
literally
macro.
Shadow imprisoning
Game
here. 2
decided by you sticking vanities. Game 3 decided by me sticking Shadow. It's not fun!
It's not. I'm surprised I was as much in that game as I was with Shadow Imp up. And that's why this deck actually sides into the hands like you saw game 2, because you need to insulate yourself against Shadow Imp. A, Ice Hand out Shadow Imp, but B, just having less darks to rely on with your deck. It's a nice sideboarding strategy, which I think is actually pretty sick. And like I said, the mind games with the fact they're playing dolls, when you went into the Abyss Dweller thinking it was a hand, the flip summon still triggers, so it's a weird little game you can play. You could have gone into another Xyz to, like, if you thought it was a Shaddoll, but then that doesn't insulate you as well if I do have like a Shaddoll fusion on the follow-up to be able to just dwell or detach.
I had
so,
Shad Imp set. I should have just flipped it pre-combat. I just wanted to be cute.
I was shocked you didn't. That's why I didn't think you had it, because when you didn't flip it pre-combat, I'm like, oh, he doesn't have Shadow Imp, whatever, and then you fucking, I'm like, all right, well, nothing I can do about that.
Yeah, so I actually understood our roles, which led to kind of that weird game too. I thought you were the beatdown because I'm familiar with this deck as this like super explosive combo deck, and you've got like BLS Dad, so I'm like, oh, Alex is the aggressor here. But I don't think that's true. I think the longer that a game goes, the more likely it is that by way of alpha, I just see so much of my deck. I find something like a Shadow Imp or a Vanity's Emptiness, which is a card that you legitimately cannot beat. So I think I'm just supposed to be preserving my life total in the early game, which I didn't do game 2, and I really paid for it. It's so weird to think of it as Shaddoll, the deck with the extremely powerful resource loop. You know, the fusion into the monster, into returning the fusion, the cards that put it on the map, not being able to stand up to the late game of a deck like Satellar Knight, just by virtue of these exceptionally powerful floodgates available in the format, and just finding those in order to stabilize, and finding them being an inevitability because of how much of the deck that I get to see. I mean, there is a lot of play and a lot of theory that definitely goes into playing these matches and understanding these matches. It just sucks that it culminates in board states like this one, where like, hoo-hoo, I have Shad Imp up and I activated Soul Charge. Ooh, great duel.
Well, and it's not like I didn't have outs to Shadow Imp, right? So I had the hands, which you knew about. I had 2 MSTs in from the board, and I also had, where is it? I was literally just looking at it. I also had Malevolent Catastrophe and the sideboard as well. So I had multiple ways to deal with Shadow Imp. I just literally did not see it. I also boarded into Light Mirror, which I did not see at all. So I was trying to do the same thing that you did to me, but you beat me to it, and we would have had a very boring game if that were the case, of just like big idiot beatdown. You did mention role assignment, though. I think I misassigned my role in this game 3 because I had an opportunity before you started really going off here where I could have just dropped BLS as soon as you killed that Shaddoll Hedgehog. So there's a world where I could have gone like normal summon dragon, drop BLS, and then like BLS over Altair for, what would have been 13, 3K, and then 19. And I think that would have actually just sunk you, but I was, or if it didn't sink you, you're going to be on like 100 life.
Yeah, it's...
I was just too nervous. I was going to run into just one of your many back row that was going to be a problem. And so I ended up paying for it as a result.
But yeah, no, that's another facet of the game that during this format specifically you have to plan around, because this happened in game 2. Getting your life points low enough cuts you off of the strongest card in the format, which is Soul Charge. In game 2, I was at 2200 for like 5 turns in a row, and I was like, I can't activate this, I'll die. Like, I get to do, and I think I ended up firing it for 1 even, or attempting to fire it for 1 on like a really late turn. So there is a lot of, I mean, there is a lot of cool back and forth. It just sucks that also in the format, huge, unrespondable, game-ending floodgates.
I'll let you in on a little secret. So this deck actually wasn't on Soul Charge, if you can believe that. The first iterations of these decks did not all necessarily play Soul Charge, and that's baffling to me because a Soul Charge in this deck is still ridiculous because of the fact that Falco's a tuner, so you have access to things like Black Rose potentially. You have Arcanite Magician because the Shaddolls are spellcasters, so you can literally just pop 2 cards for free. You have Castel because most of the good cards in this deck are level 4. You have just a wide myriad of different options at your disposal. You can even Soul Charge back like Constructor Window if you've already successfully summoned them earlier in the duel. So it's so interesting to see like what the first iterations of Shaddolls looked like. This deck was playing the White Dragon Wyvern Burster, Black Dragon Collapse Serpent stuff. I boarded out of that shit because that was just bricky as hell. And later on, the decks will reintroduce those cards, but I think it's once people start to really understand and like really take the deck to 11 in the aggro sense that most people know when it comes to Shaddoll. But early on in like this version of the deck, and also in Artifact Shaddoll, which is the version I opted not to play because I figured people would be sick of artifacts by this point, that it was very much more control / mid-range than it was an aggressive deck. It just happened to, as a consequence of already playing the Chaos typing, could support BLS and Dark Arm Dragon, and having Construct at your disposal could end the game a lot faster than most other decks in the format at this point.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I talked a little bit about this in the deck profile, but Duelist Alliance changed so much about not only how we conceive of Yu-Gi-Oh, like what it means for Yu-Gi-Oh to be Yu-Gi-Oh, this like ultimate Marvel versus Capcom, like balls to the wall combo fest, but also it changed both how we play the games out and how we deck build. And if you go back historically and look at some of these deck lists, they are making asinine choices like you're relaying right now. You know, the artifacts are good, so I mean, we got to play them with the Shaddolls. A little more defensible than so many people. even professionals being like, yeah, I was on like 2 soul charge. It has a life point cost, and like you don't want to brick on it. It's just unthinkable with our modern understanding of deck building that power cards like that would be played at anything less than 3 in every single deck until the end of time. And a lot of that has to do with, like you said, the fact that this is the first time that the extra deck starts to be able to accomplish stuff without the battle phase. You know, we have Castel, we have Diamond Dyer, that's an old card, but we have like Giant Hand, we have Dalteros, we have Abyss Dweller, we have Rhapsody and Berserk. All these cards are game determinative without having to click that little BP. And so all of a sudden, soul charge matters.
Well, we all can't afford Giant Hand like
whoa,
you,
whoa,
Joseph.
whoa. It was a gift, all right? But I am excited to see us resolve soul charge in upcoming games. I'm excited to see us delve a little deeper into the gameplay available at this time. And buddy, I'm just excited to try out some new decks.
I agree. I'm not excited to see Vandy's Emptiness get flipped on some more, but I'm also not excited. I am excited, I should say, for the fact that this won't be the last time we see these decks.
Absolutely
And
not.
once we get to like the next core set or the next 2 core sets, which we're not going to get to that point for another few episodes, these decks evolve. We start to see Satellar Knight get Trevere. We get Shaddoll having access to El Shaddoll fusion and new fusion monsters, right? And so we're going to see these decks multiple times throughout the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's going to be cool to track that evolution from a fan perspective.
Absolutely.
So guys, that's going to wrap it up for another video. I really hope you all enjoyed. Let's go ahead and shout the patrons for all of their continued support. So shout outs to Shadow1317, Moto, Tim00x3, Cameron Smith, MBT Play Medolce, Chaotic Meatball Part 2, Pony Starks, The Synchro Guy, Dan the Man Hoban, I ship MBT and Cimo, Draconic Phoenix the Immortal, Jordan Coons, Iron Bladesman, Jesse Wood, Chris Hood, David Liu, Dylan Hunter, Cody Bretz, John Two-Based, Extremely Vulgar Man, Brody Eastwood, Zerius Business, MBT caught injecting his Fairy Lily, Carlos DT, Flannel Daddy, Valen Jackson, Hornet, aren't you glad I didn't say Alpha Tribute Ben 10, TC Gaming, thanks for the sleeve stat, Matthew Brady, Max, Twinkle Muncher, Eater of Crayons, Luabon, Yodabon, Helios 515, Simo's Chaos Cooking Draft, MBT funding the Iris with his Rothschild Wealth, that's his Roth IRA, Simping for Simo, Stolfin Amethyst, Nicholas Carpenter, Simo's Harem of Sexy Yugi Tubers, LGMBTQ, Nim Noodle, Malabranch of the Burning Tunnel, Stella and Zoa Vermilion, Wonder Waffle, James Keen, Skull Servant, and The Wandering Doomed are boyfriends. MBT canceled by all community soon, canceled by all committee soon, canceled by all players soon. Not reading cards makes the game interesting, and you know it. The MBT and MBT Yu-Gi-Oh! Stands for Morbin Time, The Undertaker versus Simo and MBT, Dalton, Hunter Reed, Shrug Zyx, The Crystal Beast Enthusiast, ITF, Corvain, Dark Echo, TG Starman, Seamoose Engage, Viso the V, Wacky Waving, Arm Failing, Fable 2 Men selling crudely painted, not so funny plywood cutout folk art, and hatformat.com. Thank you so much for watching the video, and we will see you next time.